Hi, my name is Jarrett, and today I'm here to show the half arrow lab, or lab 3, whatever you prefer to call it, and the program that I wrote for it. So the first thing that I did was I changed the default variables, which were arrow base height, arrow base width, arrow base, or arrow head width, sorry. And I just changed arrow for user. I only did this just because I guess it made it more clear so that what the user's input was, like which variables were strictly assigned to them. We then assign these variables with the values that the user enters by prompting them for the arrow base height, arrows base width, arrows head width, and then all that is stored in these variables. Our first loop that we encounter is this one, and it's only applicable if the user entered a head width, which is less than the base width of the arrow. So what happens is we prompt the user for a new value if it does meet this criteria, and we just keep prompting them until they offer us a head width which is greater than the base width of the arrow. All right, the next part of the lab is we have these two for loops and these two new variables which are being introduced. So the first for loop is int arrow base height declared right here, so it'll be only relevant within the system. It's equal to 0. Then we set it so that as long as it is less than the user base height, so as long as 0 is less than whatever the user entered, we'll increment this. Fairly simple. And then we have basically the identical thing on this nested for loop with a new variable declared, and it'll only be relevant within this, because once we break outside of this, then it'll pop up and this isn't relevant anymore. Not that it's used, but so then we have the int arrow base width also equal to 0, and we have it so as long as it's lower than the user base width, we increment that. And it's important that we have the height and then the width nested, because otherwise the dimensions will be flipped because of how the things will be printed on the lines. It's important that it happens in this order. So we print a star equal to the width, and it'll, like, say the width is 4, it'll print 1, 2, 3, 4 stars, and then it'll go to the next line, assuming that the height is there. So say the height is 3, so it'll have the 4 stars in the first line, then it'll go and it'll print the 1, 2, 3, 4 in the second line, then it'll print the 1, 2, 3, 4 in the third line, and then that'll be the base. That's how this system works. All right, then we have this last set of loops, a while and a nested for loop. And we start off with while user head width is greater than 0, and then we get into this. So we have another new variable within the for loop, arrow head width, and we set it equal to the user head width. We made it so that as long as the head width is greater than 0, we decrement the arrow head width. I believe this could have been done if I just flipped it, but I kind of felt like using the decrement operator this time. So every time, so for whatever amount that the user's head width is above 0, a star will be printed out because of it. That's what this little thing does. And once we break this little like loop that we have going on here, we decrease the user head width by 1, and then we go back to the while loop, and it goes through this again. And the reason that we have it set up like this is so that we do reach that upside down half pyramid look, so that it's like decreasing its width at every line that it goes down. So this allows us to reach that. And this right here is just so that we can like get to the next line. So that's how this system works. We have this which does like the width of the line, and then we have this which takes 1 away from what the width of the line will be for the following row. So if it was 5 on the first row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we'll get through this, and then we'll get to here, and then this is changed to 4, so that the next row, instead of being 5 long, will be 4 long, and then the following will be 3, and then 2, and then 1, and then obviously 0. So that's what this, and then once it reaches 0, the loop breaks, and this is ended, and we have our full program output finished. All right, so that's the extent and the explanation of this. Only thing left to do is to show the user inputs. So prompted for the base height, let's say 3, base width, let's say 6, and head width. just so that we can show that this while loop right here activates. Enter values which are lower. 5. It's prompting for head width. And we'll finally give it one that is actually greater than the base width. And there's a fairly plump arrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wide. 1, 2, 3 across, and width obviously because it's +1 over is 7, and then it has that decreasing look that we were looking for. So yeah, that is the extent of the lab. That's what the output looks like with the inputs that are entered. Thank you very much for watching.